So before the holidays, we talked about bending light, or refraction, and how bending light can change what we see. And you can watch that video here if you haven't already, or if you need a refresher. Because today we'll be talking about refraction, or the bending of light, and how it helps to create one of God's most beautiful promises, the rainbow. The easiest way to see a rainbow is after it rains, or using a prism. But not many people have a prism laying around the house. I know I don't. So we're going to experiment with some objects laying around the house and see if we can make our own rainbows. But first, let's talk about how a prism works. So light enters one side of the prism and it gets bent or refracted, just like before. But the difference here is that it's bent at such a sharp angle that it's also dispersed or separated. You see, white light is actually made of a bunch of other colored lights coming together. And this makes light very unique because if you put together a bunch of different colored crayons, it wouldn't make a white crayon. But with light, if you put together a bunch of different colored light, you get white light. Now, these different colored lights actually travel at different speeds. But if it's just traveling straight through the air, the speeds are so similar that you see it all together, so it's white. But when these colors hit the thick glass of the prism, they're bent. And the slower color, blue, will bend harder than the faster color, red. So they will separate. And when the light exits out the other side of the prism, they are bent and separated even more. So now the colors are far enough away from each other that you can see them separately. And this is called a rainbow. Now let's find some different objects around the house and see if we can make our own rainbows. We'll need something that the light can shine through, but also at an angle. A great way to make a rainbow is with a CD, and you can kind of see it already. So I have a flashlight that zooms in and narrows in the light. Let's try the CD. Wow. Look at that beautiful rainbow. So the CD definitely bends light enough to make the rainbow. So reflecting light can have the same effect, as long as the light is being bent at a very sharp angle. Now, what about this roll of string? Would it be able to bend light and make a rainbow? This actually blocks the light. It doesn't bend it. And what about a glass of water? Will this be able to bend light enough to make a rainbow? So some things are going to work better than others. The more the light is bent, the more the colors will separate and it'll be easier to see the rainbow. Because if the light isn't bent enough, then the colors will all travel at this similar speed and you won't be able to see them separated. You'll see them as just the one white light. So raindrops act like prisms too. In the outside world, we see rainbows after or during a rainstorm. You see, the light is coming from the sun, and it enters the raindrop and it gets slightly bent or refracted. And it's bent at an angle where it also gets separated or dispersed. And then when it goes out the other side of the raindrop, it gets bent and separated even more. And then we're able to see our rainbow. But what about a double rainbow? Now, you may think that the second rainbow comes from a second water drop. But that's actually not true. All the raindrops make the same rainbow because all the raindrops are receiving light from the same source, the sun. So all the raindrops will bend light to the same area in the sky, the bright rainbow that we see. So the second rainbow actually comes from the exact same raindrops as the first rainbow. As we just talked about, the light enters the raindrop and most of it exits out the other side. But some of the light, it reflects just like a mirror. So the image will be flipped, just like your image in a mirror will be flipped. So the second rainbow is always a little faint and the colors are always flipped. The blue will be on the top and the red will be on the bottom. So next time you see a double rainbow, pay attention to the colors because they should be opposite. This is so amazing. I don't think that we truly appreciate God in all His glory as much as we should. He gives us so much, and we give so little back to him. So make time for God today. Before we go, let's think of some things that God has done for us. Now, I still want your prayer requests. Let me know what you are praying for. But today, I also want your praise requests. What are some things that you're grateful for? Leave them in the comments below, and you can also see what I'm grateful for and many more. And until next time, bye! Hey guys! So if you ever have any questions, feel free to contact me and let me know what you want to see in the future. Make sure that you subscribe if you like what I do. Like, share, comment. I want to interact with you. So get in touch with me on Facebook, on Instagram, on all those social medias, email, in person, I don't care. I want to hear what you guys have to say.